You ever noticed how PGA Tour guys can start off with a double bogey and still manage to shoot in the 60s? Well, believe it or not, there's a trick to it. And what's interesting about it is anybody can learn it. Alright, boys and girls, welcome back to the channel. So, in the last episode where we worked on the pre-shot routine, I said there's going to be more parts to it. So there's actually going to be 2 more parts. Today we're going to talk about essentially post-shot routine. So in the last video we talked about pre-shot routine, which was our contemplation box or our think box, our preparatory box, and then of course we had our execution box. So what we have now is, once we execute a golf shot, we have what's called the post-shot routine. So in the next few minutes I'm going to explain to you how to properly program this so that even if you're having a bad day on the golf course, you can turn it around. So in our last episode we worked through each of these boxes till we got to the execution box, and then we stopped. Today we're going to focus specifically on the execution box and what we do after we hit a golf shot. So I'm going to go through this process for you. I'm going to show you, I'm going to talk through it as I do it, and then I'm going to explain to you what I'm doing. I'm still working on the draw, so we're going to go with that today, specifically the high draw. So my big trigger for that is making sure that I maintain my spine angle. So just getting a feel for that in my preparatory box. Got my intermediate target. I see the shot, trust it, and then the final piece of it is clearing the mechanism and allowing everything to happen. There we go. So from here, this is where the most important thing happens, which is the post-shot routine. The majority of recreational golfers fail is they do something like this. They hit a shot, it's a bad shot, they walk straight to their bag, and they put their clubs away. That's not what we want to do. There's no rule, even though there is the modern game, which they require you to play fast. There is no rule that says you can't take the time to allow your mind, your subconscious, to tell you what went wrong. So in this case, after you hit the shot, 10 seconds after you hit it, your brain, your subconscious, is actually going to replay that shot in your mind literally thousands of times. So we hit a shot, it may not be the best shot, but it's replaying it thousands and thousands of times. And at that point, it's our choice whether or not we want to accept that as our reality. Bob Rutella had a seminar back in the 90s with Jack Nicklaus, and one of the questions that came up was, how do you make short putts in majors to win? And Jack was quoted as saying that he had never missed a 4-footer under pressure to win a major in his entire life. Now, one of the members of the audience said that he remembered Jack missing a putt to win the British Open. And again, Jack finished second in a whole lot of events. So, you know, being basically the GOAT, that kind of speaks to something, doesn't it? To the fact that what I've been trying to teach you is that the mind is far more powerful than the physical form. And there's a lot of truth to mind over matter. And today you're going to learn how to do that. And we're going to actually train it on the range. And then in part 3, we're going to take it to the course and we're going to execute it. So the first thing I need you guys to do is, after you hit a shot, don't immediately get angry, frustrated, or any of that. I need you to take 10 seconds to allow the shot to land and allow your mind to tell you what you did good or bad, because both matter. And the thing about the subconscious is it doesn't know what the truth is. So if you hit a bad shot, you don't have to accept it. So when we go to the range, the question is, how do we train this? How do we get into a mindset that prepares us to go play golf, especially under pressure? Because, you know, a little weekend game with the buddies is a lot more pressure than you guys like to admit, and you do struggle. I've seen it numbers of times. So what's the key? What do we need to practice on the range that's going to prepare us to play better on the course? Well, part of it was the pre-shot routine, but the second half of it is the post-shot routine. And again, the first part of it is taking 10 seconds. So during that 10 seconds, you're probably wondering, what do I do? So I'm going to hit this shot. I'm going to go through the full process. I'm going to hit the shot, and then I'm going to talk to you after the shot about what's going through my mind. So the ball just landed. I watched it bounce and stop. Took one hop and stopped, which is what I like to see. That's how I play golf. I did hit the high draw I was imagining. Everything went as to plan, but it wasn't a pure strike, and possibly because I'm on a little downhill slope here. But for the 10 seconds, what I do is I quietly wait for my subconscious to tell me what went wrong. So let's take that 10 seconds now and allow ourselves to listen to the voice inside our head or the pictures or whatever it is. So there's no stress, there's no pressure, I'm just listening, and there it is right there. So essentially the reason I hit it a little thin is because right before I pulled the club away, I forgot the last intention that I always have over the golf ball, which is to see impact. So I came out of the shot slightly, and my brain is literally like replaying it in my mind thousands of times. So the one error that I made, I can see it. So now I'm going to take 5 seconds. So this is a total of 15 seconds, guys, literally. And I'm just going to say, you know what? You're right, brain. You're right, subconscious. Thanks for that. I appreciate you. I'll fix that on the next one. And instead of remembering that, I remember it instead of taking another swing and seeing impact in my mind, in my mind's eye, my third eye, which is what we're training here. So as most of you are recreational golfers, I understand that there is a pace of play. I get it. And I get that taking the full time to see your shot land, the full time to allow your subconscious to basically work with you versus against you. In other words, when the conscious mind interjects and tells you you're worthless, I get it. I totally understand it. I've been there. Practice as hard as you need to. There's a lot of things that go on that are out of your control. So what I'm trying to teach you here, what I think is really important, is that you have autonomy. You have the ability to control this. Believe it or not, it's one of the only things you can actually control is how you react, how your mind reacts, how you react to good and bad shots. So taking 10 seconds to fully allow the shot to land and do everything it's supposed to do is okay. It's not a bad thing, guys. And I guarantee it's not going to slow the pace down. In fact, most of you guys take golf carts, so you've got 30 to 45 seconds between shots to do this. When your playing partners are hitting shots or they're looking for their lost balls. And in the process of doing this, you're going to find yourself becoming more focused and more present with the moment, not thinking ahead about your score or thinking in the past about bad shots. And then 2, as you develop this skill on the range, when you get to the course, you're going to be able to veer yourself back to a good game, and you can finish strong. And your competitors won't. They'll eat themselves up mentally, and they'll be defeated by themselves, which at the TMG Academy, we don't do that. We don't defeat ourselves. This game is hard. I don't care what you think. And if you don't practice enough, you're going to struggle. And that's okay. It's okay to struggle. And what I really want you guys to understand is that everything is relative. We don't know what a great shot is until we've hit some bad ones, right? And we don't know what a bad shot is unless we hit some really great ones. So throughout a round, we're going to do both. Like that was a little bit thin. Nothing wrong with that. You don't hit them all perfect, but it still went straight at my target. And if I was aiming at a green, I'd have at least maybe a 20, 30 footer with, yeah, this is an 8-iron. So the understanding is what else is relative is your skill set. If you don't have a great swing, or you're in the middle of swing changes, it's okay to miss a few throws around. You know, Ben Hogan, one of the greatest ball strikers ever, said he maybe hit 1 or 2 great during an 18-hole round, and in some cases during a 72-hole tournament. Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods, they've all been quoted as saying the same thing, you know, and I can tell you from firsthand experience, if I hit 1 or 2 shots around that I'm really happy with, it was a good day. So I practice 80 hours a week during the season. I want you to think about that, 60 to 80 hours a week. And I'm happy with 1 or 2 good shots around. Why aren't you guys? So when you get to the range, here's going to be your setup. I want you guys to take either 3 golf clubs, 3 alignment sticks, whatever you're comfortable with. I want you to create a box. For those of you that are really hard-headed, add a 4th one back here, just to make sure you lock yourself in that box. And I want you to hit shots. And after each shot, I expect you to give yourself 15 to 20 seconds. Now, there's a lot of ways to do that. You can set a timer on your phone, you can count in your head, or you can just wait. Just wait, give your subconscious a little bit of time to talk to you. But again, guys, you have to train it. So we're gonna come in here, we're gonna hit a shot. So in this particular case, I'm aiming just over the orange flag. Yeah, pretty much right over the orange flag today. That was an absolutely terrible shot. I'm just gonna wait, allow the subconscious to talk to me. Yep, I know exactly what I did there. And so now, we're gonna correct that issue, right? Before we hit another ball, imagine you're on the course, you're just gonna take a practice swing. And again, it was the same issue as before. I just came out of the shot, got a little handsy.